menacing adventure machine.
The jail needs fortification, if you know what I mean.
Oh, you need a jailbreak. Probably for the people who are arriving tomorrow. Friends, it is time for us to make a plan. We do need to make sure we are getting a head start on these Baldwin Feltz men.
Excuse me, but we're wanting to know what time the trains are here tomorrow.
You'll be specially interested in this noon train. I would be careful not to stand in the way of it. I do believe bullets will be involved. Dr. Van Helsing, talk to me about the experiments that you've been experimenting while everyone else has been participating in plot.
Well, I think I had something yesterday, but now I forgot that I said that. Let's see. Okay, I think the first thing that I try to do is I go around trying to pick up different objects.
Okay, you try to pick up different objects. The first thing you try and pick up is a hammer that's been left for a tent. Each time you go to pick this up, it just seems to move to a new location, which is fairly frustrating. As you focus on it and really think about it, you're able to locate it and start picking it up, but it's just incredibly heavy, and then it vanishes out of your hand and appears roughly a foot away. You assume somebody's used it to set up a tent. The next thing you do is you try and kick some pebbles, but your feet seem to go through these pebbles just like they did before. However, as you are going out into the woods and trying different things and get to where fewer people or animals have been, you are able to kick the pebbles.
Okay,
Seems
cool.
like things that are frequently moved are harder to interact with. Things that move infrequently and stay in the same place more often are easier to interact with.
Okay.
What are some of the other experiments you'd like to try?
I wanted to take a piece of paper out of my big medical bag.
Okay.
And I want to write a note on it. It just says like test 1, 2, 3. Test C. McTesterson. And then I write a note and then I drop it and want to see what happens once I let go of it.
Okay. You write this note and you drop it. It floats gently to the ground. When it touches the ground for a minute, it stays totally in phase with you. And then, like a giant gust of wind comes along, it blows it far beyond your sight.
Can I tell if it like left my plane of existence?
So as you go to track it down, you are not able to find it unless you'd like to make an investigate roll.
Sure. Okay, I rolled a -1, so I think I got a 1. So I rolled a 1 to try to discern if the paper I dropped phased out.
All right. As soon as the paper is carried off by that gust of wind you can't feel, you take off at a leisurely jog after it.
Mm-hmm.
You got nothing.
I do it again.
Okay. You do it again.
Nathan's
This
just gonna
time-
keep doing it until he succeeds.
He's in D&D terms, we call this taking 20.
Yes. Yeah.
All right. So you keep dropping these papers, you keep losing them, but eventually one of the papers that you drop gets caught on a tree and you're able to go over and see it. And like anything else that moves around a lot, it is now hard for you to grab. However, you do see a deer come and nibble on the corner of it before the deer fast forwards away somewhere else.
Nice. I may be able to have some use for this predicament after all.
You have to say eyebrow wiggle if you eyebrow wiggle, Nathan.
Would you like to perform any other experiments?
I pee on the third rail.
Oh my gosh.
So you understand there's no third rail.
Yeah, I know. I'm just kidding.
Okay.
I'm just...
These are still steam trains.
I lick a frozen pole. No, I'm done.
What weather do you think we have right now? When did snow come into this?
I think with those fairly simple experiments, I'm able to kind of discern my relationship to the reality around me. I guess I will just try to stick to where the party is.
All right. So you have now specter followed all of the party into Mucklow and back away from Mucklow.
Mm-hmm.
And here's everyone who is not Keith walking home between Mucklow and the Holly Grove encampment. Does anyone have any interesting things they want to have happen between these two spaces?
Char's practicing boxing.
Okay. We're not going to roll for that or role play it, but thank you. I appreciate it.
Perfect. That's exactly what I wanted.
I'll recount play by play, minute by minute, exactly what happened when I was the lone knight, embellishing the fact that I'm amazing and my knight powers are awesome, and also I have a friend. But I don't know what he thinks about me. I don't know what he, because it's kind of a weird situation. Sometimes he's mean, but we did get a house together, though we slept in separate rooms.
We got a house together. It was really nice.
I don't know if you guys have ever watched the YouTube shorts called Kid History.
Yes.
But that's exactly what runs through my mind when I picture this 10-year-old like jumping up and down while like running back and forth in front of Char and Effie, being like, and then this happened, and then this happened, and I'm so good at this thing, and then this happened, and then this happened. That's what's going through my head.
That makes total sense.
Sounds
and then
awesome.
they put me to bed.
Yeah. And they put me to bed. Yeah. I was out.
They
I was
sent
out
me
there
to my room.
Yeah. Patrolling like I always do, and then they sent me to my room. Jeez. So rude.
All right. If you want, we can roleplay some of this. Otherwise, we can arrive at camp.
We're at camp.
Let's go to camp.
Okay, we're at camp. As you approach on the worn path between Mucklow and Holly Grove, you are stopped by a miner holding a rifle. State your business.
Oh, a miner. Okay. I was like, I thought you were going to be like, state your business, sir. Like a miner holding a rifle.
This is not a minor. This is actually a fairly senior miner.
Got it.
Hey, we're part of the camp, actually. We need to meet with Frank.
All right. Frank should be cabin near the hospital tent. Go on ahead.
Thank you so much. If I had anything to give you, I would give it to you, but I do not. So I hope you take this compliment and run with it. Your shirt looks really clean. Bye.
He does not say anything. He just kind of blinks a few times, shrugs, and walks a little bit away so he can still guard the road, but is not expected to say anything.
Perfect.
All right. Are you collecting Zoo on your way over?
Zoo, do you want to be collected?
Are you collected?
I don't want to be abandoned, guys. But
I just
we're
wondered if
friends.
you had healed yet.
I don't know. Oh, illustrious GM, God of my fate, am I healed yet?
Are you healed yet? That's a great question.
Okay, I'm gonna go with probably no.
No, not yet.
So I'm not healed yet.
We'll stop by the medical tent and come to see you.
Yeah, I was gonna say best to just come and hang out
Hey,
next to me.
Zoo. How you doing, buddy?
Hey guys. Hey Sha. I think I'm okay. I'm pretty sure I got shot a whole bunch of times.
Yeah, I wouldn't move.
Yeah, it was kind of intense. But the really mean lady's taking pretty okay care of me, I guess.
Man, it'd be so helpful if Dr. Van Helsing was here. I hope he's doing okay. We really miss him.
Is he still not back?
I take some whiskey out of my big medical bag and I put it on the night table next to Keith's bed.
You do that. Nobody sees anything.
Oh, that's actually kind of sad.
So what are we doing, guys? What's the plan? What's the
So, we sabotaged a lot of stuff in the town.
Yes, I did.
Ralph here did a great job.
Good on you,
And
little buddy.
now we're gonna go stop a train.
Nice.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun.
That tracks.
I wish the audience could see the way your eyes got super wide when you said that.
I move closer. I kind of like shrink a bit, so I'm a bit smaller. And yeah.
All right. We're gonna rob a train. I mean, I could get.
No,
I could get
not
out.
really rob a train, but there's some people on train that we need to save. And gee, it's gonna be. Oh, we're gonna chase down that train and we're gonna save all those people.
All right, that sounds like fun. I can do that.
But aren't you hurt?
I try and like get out of the bed.
Oh no! Stay down, big guy. You're fine.
No. I'm okay. I can do this.
Look, we're not gonna do it until like early morning, so you can get a good night's rest. All right?
Oh, okay. Oh, that sounds good. I'm gonna just lay down.
It's the noon train, so.
Got it.
As you go to get up, Zoo, you put your hand on the table next to the bed, and you accidentally knock over a flask of whiskey that you never recognized there before.
Hey, what's this?
Hey, isn't that Van Helsing's?
Definitely smells like Van Helsing.
I take all of the materials that he may need to get better out of my bag, and I put them on the bed.
Okay,
Nice.
nobody can see anything.
What?
Hey, it took a little bit of time. Just wait. Just hang out. It might show up eventually.
Could I get a notice roll?
Yeah, I'd love to roll a notice roll.
Can I just add one to Char's notice?
Sure.
All right, I had one, so just Sarah.
Do you add anything, Dan?
Yeah, I have a notice. Go ahead and take a notice from me.
Okay, so 4 + 3. This is a +7 notice. By the power of friendship.
As
Magic
you
of
are distracted from paying attention to Zoo,
I definitely feel like Char is like sniffing the whiskey, being like, I think this like is what I was stung by when I was trying to get healed.
maybe it's this sense memory, but you look over and Sarah Blizzard is folding up linens that look very familiar. These are, fresh wrapping linens. Because you swear you've seen these in Van Helsing's bag before.
Hey, Sarah, hey, those are my friends.
Oh no, I'm sure you must be mistaken, dear. You see, these just showed up on that bed the other night, and we've just been using them. They're very high quality, though they smell kind of like whiskey.
Yeah. When those showed up, they were from Van Helsing, and he's actually asked me to be looking for them.
They showed up 2 nights ago. You guys didn't get here till yesterday.
Yeah, it was a surprise gift that we sent ahead, and then now we need to use for Zoomin.
Oh yes, okay, fine. Yeah, I mean, we could definitely use them on your poor injured psychotic friend.
Okay, thanks so much.
I'm not that injured.
Does anyone know how to wrap bandages?
Presumably Sarah Blizzard, right? Like this.
Hey, Sarah, could you come over and help heal this poor man?
I will get to him when I will get to him. Thank you.
We have to leave in the morning, though, and he needs to be better.
He will be better in the morning. I'm sure it's not going to make a very big difference whether I get to it now or in an hour now, is it?
Oh, as long as it happens, like, before he goes to sleep. That's totally fine. I really appreciate it. Is there anything I can do for you?
She hands you a stack of dirty bed sheets and says, we can take these just out to the stream. They definitely need a good washing. Thank you so much for offering. Goodbye.
Okay. Effie, do you know how to wash sheets?
Yes, I do. I have washed many sheets.
Can you teach me?
Why not?
Okay, I am going to push you over. I'm going to push you over and say, why don't we go talk to Frank?
All right. As we're leaving the tent, I make a peace sign at Zoo, and I go, yo, we'll wake you up in the morning so we can go hijack a train.
Okay, cool. Bye, guys.
All right, sleep good. Bye. And then we go talk to Frank.
All right. The unfinished cabin remains unfinished and still lit by a small oil lamp.
So lit.
If you listen closely, you can hear the sound of the Baldwin Feltz detective scratching against the wall of the broom closet in which is his makeshift prison.
Hey, Ralph, don't open that door, okay? There's a scary man back there.
Oh, no. Okay, yeah. I won't open the door. How is he scary? Does he look scary?
Yeah. If you look at him, you'll pee your pants.
Does he have a hook for a hand? I remember
No.
the story about this man with a hook for a hand, and you don't want to be walking around at night because he'll have a hook for a hand.
No, he doesn't have a hook for a hand, but he definitely has a third eye.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty scary.
Hey, Frank, how's it going? I'm not lying
Frank's-
to a 10-year-old.
Frank stands up from the desk, puts his hands on his back and stretches. Well, how did go your reconnaissance?
It was good. The noon train is the train that we need to stop, so...
I see. I mean, we could go back to my original plan, which was stopping all of the trains.
What's your plan?
I mean, the tracks to Mucklow run right outside this encampment. And we were planning on tearing these up at some point.
Ah, yes, that's.
Why haven't you already done that?
Well, you asked us not to, see, because you wanted to try and befriend the Chinamen as they came in.
Oh. Which train are they coming in on?
Well, I don't rightly know. I reckon there should be trains all day.
There are. There's a 6 a.m., a 9 a.m., a noon, and a 3 p.m.
Well, considering that the mine owners need to replace a goodly number of workers, I suppose a fair number of those will probably be full of Chinamen.
Can we just excuse us a moment, Frank? Hey, team,
Yep.
Effie and Ralph?
Gee, yes.
I might have forgotten about the track thing, but it does seem like a good idea that I had in the past me, to befriend the people.
I mean, we could probably try and stop them without tearing up the tracks.
You could.
That's not very fun, though, is it?
No.
It could be fun, Nathan.
Nathan, you're not participating in any of this, so I don't know if you get an opinion.
Okay. It's not my
Poor
fault.
Nathan.
I'm in the away zone. I'm away.
I do think that it would be good to befriend the Chinamen. I think if we could stop them here instead of, like, in town, then we could have a chance to talk to them before the detectives do.
I think that is a good idea. We should talk to them before the detectives, just like we should rescue the people who are going to jail before the detectives see them.
Yeah.
So y'all in favor of tearing up the train tracks now?
I would like to try and stop the train without tearing up the tracks. Is that possible, Frank?
Certainly could, put in logs, rocks. We're miners. We're fairly good at that sort of thing, moving things, making things, breaking things. Anything that's actually useful, that people do. That's not counting money. We're pretty good at.
I think if we could pile up a bunch of rocks on the tracks that wouldn't permanently damage them so that we could remove it, I think that would be more beneficial, because then you guys wouldn't have to be in trouble because you destroyed public property.
Yeah, we certainly could get to work on creating a barricade.
Let's do that, Frank.
All right. Let's head on out and let's make us a barricade. Any of y'all folks want to help, or y'all have other things to be doing?
I want to make a barricade.
Gee, I helped make a barricade. Well, I was offered to help make a barricade in town, but I want to make a barricade here.
Ralph, I appreciate your enthusiasm. Effie, I appreciate your enthusiasm. Let's go make a barricade.
All right. Where would y'all like to place this barricade? Before camp, after camp, middle of camp?
Right before camp.
Yeah.
Right before camp. Sounds good.
But not so close to camp that the train could hit the barricade and then flip over action movie style and land on the camp.
Yeah.
Because the camp is right next to the train tracks and only covers right
Or,
beside the train tracks.
Stop, and then the back of the train derails and comes around and hits camp,
See, well, my thought was more of so that the people don't have guns and start shooting at people in the camp.
I mean, both are protective measures.
All right.
Yeah, let's
Reasonable
protect camp.
protection for any action movie shenanigans.
Action movie shenanigans.
Each of you who are involved in this, that would be the 3 people who are not phased out of time or lying down. Tell me what action you would like to make and what role you would like to make to help the miners build this barricade.
I would like to help inspire everyone to work really hard by giving a little pep talk.
All right. Give us a rapport roll.
I got a -3. My rapport is +4, so that's a +1.
All right.
Shar doesn't know anything about manual labor. She does not understand the common working person enough to make a difference in what they're doing.
I will not require this, but I would love to hear some of this speech.
Yeah, so if you just work really hard, you guys, you can be really successful. There's nothing in this world that is going to stop you from succeeding. And I just think that if everyone pays attention to general hygiene a little bit more, then we can all be a little bit happier about working in close spaces.
It is weird that after you give this speech, you're getting a lot of accidental motions from the miners that could be considered rude gestures.
Oh no! Shar doesn't see them because she's just waving at Effie because she's so excited to be helping.
Yeah, absolutely. It's totally, they might be doing it on accident. It's probably fine.
Probably.
Okay, who's next?
I want to lift heavy things with my cyborg arm.
Lift heavy things with cyborg arm. All right, that's going to be physique.
I rolled a plus and a negative, so therefore I get 2.
All right. You do an average person's work of helping with this. Everyone's quite impressed that such a small woman is able to help move these heavy rocks and logs as if you were one of the men.
Doing good, but blending in.
Shar's on the side going, Effie, E-F-F-I-E. Definitely not getting any other rude gestures.
This reminds me of a bit from, you're going to just have to indulge me on this, from Buffy, where Anya, the demon, is watching Xander, her boyfriend, dig things and gets very upset when he stops digging things. She's like, no, I came to watch him dig things. Why is he not digging things?
Oh my god.
It's a great show. I love
that was
that
hilarious.
show. All right.
Amazing.
It's a good show.
Ralph, what are you up to?
So my first initial thought was that I'm going to just complain about that my arms are hurting and that things are too heavy and this is taking too long. The look that Sarah May is giving me.
Are you still a child? Should you not be the knight right now?
Dan, aren't we trying to think of helpful things that we're doing?
I think you spend too much time with your kids today, Dan.
Dan's like, kids aren't helpful at all.
I'm going to look for areas that need to be barricaded more and things that can be put into those areas that can be barricaded more.
Okay, roll me a barricade more roll and tell me what it is.
Yes. I'm going to use notice, and that's a +2.
Okay.
So I do a fair job.
Yeah, you get your ramshackle bucket and you fill it with pebbles and junk, and everywhere you see space, you're like, hey, put more stuff here, and you put more stuff there.
Yes.
We're going to say we've built a fairly successful barricade. The miners do a good job. You help all of you in some way. And you also notice that they put up flags and signs before the barricade so that trains know they should probably slow down. There is a hazard on the tracks. And with that all done, your work is done for the night.
Great job, everyone.
Good.
Especially
We
me.
did so good.
Yep.
Let's go to bed.
All right. Everybody head to bed. Anybody want to do something that's not head to bed?
Yeah, before
gonna
Shar
clap
goes to
out.
sleep. Before Shar goes to sleep, she wants to stop by and see Zoo again and wants to try and help heal his bullet wounds any way that she can.
All right. You stop back to see Zoo. He is actually very well bandaged and looks to be in fairly good spirits, although you think that the bandages around his mouth were, strictly speaking, unnecessary.
Love it.
Hey, Zoo, I'm going to say something while you can't say anything back. But just pretend you're asleep for a minute.
Nobody likes Vegemite.
Just wanted to say, Zoo, that I don't think that you're a monster or anything, and I know that I've said this a couple times since everything went down with Blythe, but just seeing you hurt just makes me feel guilty, I guess. And I kind of know what you were feeling a little bit when all of that happened. And I just want you to know that I really care about you, and I don't think that you need to give yourself a hard time. Anyway, since you're asleep, I'm gonna go and fall asleep too in my own bed. Okay, bye.
You can respond to this, Zoo. You don't have to be asleep. You can remove these bandages.
Zoo's eyes open as Shaw leaves, and a single tear rolls down his eye
Solid.
onto his cheek.
All right. After a simple, hearty meal and just really getting to care about everyone in this camp, I can't begin to tell you how you know everyone's names now, and all of these people matter so much.
And Logan's like, never ask me for a name again. You already know them.
You know all their names.
Come up with it
That
yourself.
just means we can make them up. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm fine with that. 100% fine with that.
All right. So here's what happens. All of you have a good night's sleep. If you've had a good night's sleep, you can remove all of your physical stress.
Yay!
If you are medically treated, you can move one of your consequences down. So in this case, zoom in, you can remove scorched around the edges and put singed thigh as a mild.
Yay!
Oh, I didn't know that I could get medical treatment and remove mine. I
No,
will remember that.
let's keep you on just the single mild for now.
Yeah, that's good.
Let me check everybody else.
Do I get to do anything since I'm sleeping on the ground because it's the only thing that'll hold me?
No, you can wipe your bloodied skull consequence, Nathan.
Yes.
You are a doctor. I'm sure you treated yourself.
Yeah, I did.
With whiskey.
And everyone can gain 1 fate point.
Yes! I didn't want to ask because I didn't want to seem desperate.
I was out.
Me too.
Most of you are out. The sun rises. You're all feeling better. As you go about getting your morning meal, you notice that there are armed miners waiting by the train tracks.
Who's giving these children weapons?
I hate all of you.
It's never gonna get old. It shall be hilarious forever.
It's exactly hilarious now as it was the first time it was done.
Yay! Wait. Zoo cautiously steps out of the hospital tent and shields his eyes because it's sunny now and it's been a minute since I've been outside, and heads towards where I can smell food.
All right.
Do you put your nose in the air and sniff like a dog?
And then you float off the ground if you smell something good.
On
I have
2
bad
wisps
news.
of
There will be
smoke.
no floating because nothing in
Dang
this
it.
camp smells that good.
Zoo turns
no.
into an eagle and flies instead. Yeah, I do not do that.
Okay. I mean, if you want to.
No.
I'm not going to
We're
tell you
okay.
you can't.
Nope.
You
That's fine.
have this agency.
Yeah, and then I used my only lost fate point to float off the ground for food. I'm okay. I'll walk.
Listen, I'm not telling you how to live your life. That's all I'm saying here. It is convenient that you arrive at the same cook pot as everyone else in the party. How did that happen? Wild. Love it.
It's like when you enter a cafeteria and you kind of look around and you're like, I don't know any of these people, and then you spot like the one person that you know, and you kind of like zone in on them, and you're like, if they don't let me sit by them, I'm gonna cry in front of everyone. And then you walk over and they let you sit by them. Not that I ever experienced this. This is not from personal experience at all.
Yep. Definitely sounds very, very generic. I wouldn't worry
Yeah.
about it. Yeah. Relatable, though. Definitely relatable. Frank comes up while you are eating your morning meal. Well, we're all set up. Should be about an hour before the first people come. We'll see how these trains react to armed miners.
Are we sure that there should be arms involved in this? Can we like at least hide them? Maybe behind the barricade.
I mean, we could, but feel like you would kind of, give us less of a hand to play when it comes to getting everyone to get off the train.
Oh, well, I think that we could just be nice.
The heavy sigh is his.
Not Logan's.
Miss, it seems like you've had a life that has been relatively simple, easy, shall we say.
Do you
I've
want to know
never
how I got
found-
these scars?
I don't get that reference. I have never found that being nice has gotten me anything from anyone involved in this whole operation.
I agree that the detectives are people that you probably should never be nice to. However, the people on that train, they don't understand the situation. If we could just talk to them, help them understand, and help them understand that what we're trying to do is for their betterment as well, I think that we could come to a mutual agreement without having to threaten violence.
Let me paint you a picture. You're a Chinaman. You just got off the boat at St. Ellis Island.
How tall am I?
They're roughly 5'6".
Am I
They get
wearing
this-
new clothes or old clothes?
Old clothes. You've been on the boat for several months.
I mean, several months is not old clothes. Like, let's be a little bit more economical, please.
I mean, people who are wealthy in China generally aren't coming here. So this is getting very in the weeds. Very.
I just
in the
needed to get
weeds.
into character.
Okay. Old clothes. 5'6". Your name's probably something like Ping. You don't speak English.
Did you know that ping means flower vase?
No, I really actually did not know that.
It does. And also, I can speak Chinese.
Yes, you can speak Chinese. They can't speak English. Anyway, so you get here, and there's a man. He says, "Hi, I've got a job for you." It's, and whatever he says, you don't really get it, even though they did hire, someone who speaks a fair amount of Chinese in order to say, "Hey, I've got a job for you." But they're terms you don't understand, places you don't understand. "Hey, I've got a job for you. Just get on this train." And you get on this train with a bunch of other people who are from China. And then you get off the train and they're like, "Here's your job." And you're like, "Wow, this is the best job ever." The only person that you have a connection with in this whole darn place is the man who said, "Hey, I have a job for you."
Right, but we have to make a connection with them that's better.
Just pointing out, this is going to be very difficult.
Again, I'm not opposed to you having some weapons on the side just in case things get hairy, but let's try not weapon approach first.
All right. I mean, I don't know why I trust you so much, but we're going to do it your way.
Thank you. I need to go lie down. Haven't had this much of a taxing, convincing conversation in a while.
Usually you just roll for it.
Hey, Effie,
All right.
will you be on standby just to make sure that, no one gets hurt?
Building the barricade?
No,
Or-
when we're trying to get people off the train?
Of course I'll be there, Shar. Where else would I be?
I don't know. Sometimes I get afraid that everyone's going to leave me.
That's normal.
That doesn't matter at all. We don't need to look into that.
Oh, I
All right.
thought everyone felt that way.
Ralph, could you pick some flowers and be ready to give them to the people on the train?
Gee, yes, I can do that.
Amazing. Just, try and make sure that they all feel comfortable, that they all feel safe, and between you and me, we've got our work cut out for us.
Okay.
Zoomin,
Yeah?
is there anything in particular that you want to do, or should you be on standby duty with Effie to make sure that no violence breaks out?
Well, Shah, I'm not really good at no violence, but I'm really good at handling the violence that will break out. So, yeah, I'll be in the background, and then if something goes down, I've got a couple surprises up my sleeve that I can use to help us out.
Do we think that it would be helpful for us to have a lookout to tell us when the trains are coming, or do we feel like we'll be able to tell when the trains are coming?
They're big and loud, right?
They are big and loud, and they have a big old plume of smoke that comes out of them.
Okay, cool. Okay, perfect. Van Helsing, if you're here and can be helpful in any way, we appreciate that. We appreciate you, even though we don't know what you're doing.
Neither do I.
Char, reaches into, the void to try and see if she can feel Van Helsing at all.
You wave your arm around.
I think that the flowers are a really good idea, Shar. Maybe we should also set up a welcome tent and some balloons.
Oh, that'd be amazing. Perfect. Can you write a sign in Chinese, Effie, that says, "Welcome to Mucklow"?
Welcome to America!
I will Download an appropriate welcome greeting in Chinese.
You're amazing, Effie.
All right, the only thing I need here is a resources roll for Effie.
I'm gonna make balloon arch. I got +2 and I have a 3, so that makes 5.
Nice.
Do a balloon arch. You get a sign. It looks professional. Like this could have been done at Kinko's. It's very good.
Hey fam, sorry to interrupt these jaunts through the timeline with something as boring as ads, but here are a few words from our sponsors.
Don't you just hate it when you've been put in charge of planning Meemaw's 90th surprise party, and instead of planning it, you slipped into a fugue state and completely spaced while hunting temporal bounty across the time void? Or when you have a train full of migrant workers coming to town in minutes and haven't set out a single welcome mat? Well, fret not, because your days of embarrassing faux pas and disappointed senior citizens are behind you. When the mood to party strikes suddenly, just call out for Effie's pop-up party planners. With our patented party arm technology and instant transport capabilities, we will have a party planner out to you in minutes. Fully equipped to deck out your social gathering or thinly veiled hostage situation with balloon arches, beverages, streamers, and the military might of a 2332 cyborg temporal assassin. Never worry about party planning again. Simply text your coordinates in place and time to 1-800-FE-PARTY and prepare to be the hero of your social group or picket brigade. Use code Explosive Balloon Arch at payment for a free submachine gun or t-shirt cannon. This organization is in no way affiliated with Cyborg Assassin, Effie Derringer. No proceeds from events sold go to Effie Derringer.
Hey fam, thanks for listening today. It's been really awesome doing this show for you guys, and we love to hear from you. And so if you have questions or comments, please reach out to us on social media. You can find us on Instagram, TikTok, pretty much anywhere that you're on media socially. So are we. If you want to rate us on iTunes or Spotify, that super helps the algorithm, gets our show out there. But the number one thing you guys can do, please, if you can, just refer us to a friend. If you know someone who likes actual play podcasts and weird superhero time travelers, just let them know about us and maybe we can grow our family a little bit. Thanks, guys. Have a great night.
Effie, your talent is endless and it never ceases to amaze me.
Everyone else is actually pretty darn impressed too.
It's all thanks to these really helpful nanobots.
Amazing.
The possibilities are endless. Have you seen Big Hero 6?
One of my favorite movies.
All right, where is everyone as we get ready for the first train?
Definitely standing under the balloon arch, like next to the pile of rocks.
I'm in the background with the other, miners that are armed, sort of waiting for things to go bad.
Sounds good.
Yep.
So I now have flowers.
You have flowers. Are you with the miners? Are you in the balloon arch? What's your thinger?
I was supposed to give these flowers to the people coming out of the train, so I'm in the balloon arch.
Sounds good. Van Helsing, what is your position in all of this?
I am just kind of watching. I'm writing down what's happening in my journal. Yep.
It is weird to you that you see Effie stand in a place for a second, and then there's this massive balloon arch and all of this excellent decoration, and people seem to be waiting for something.
Mm-hmm.
And as people wait, you can see the plume of smoke and steam as this train approaches. You can hear its brakes squeal as it slows down upon seeing the miners' signs and flags. And as the engine starts to quiet, you can already hear the cursing and shouting of the engineer and the other people involved in the operation of the train.
Hey, Effie, would you want to run up to the, control area of the train and just kind of do some damage control with the people up there?
You want me to rocket boot onto the train?
Yeah.
That sounds enjoyable.
Is this a thing that you are going to do?
Yeah, of course. Shara asked me to.
Describe it to me.
The train is going, and then
Okay.
I go, and then I go, hover above train while it's moving so that I can get to be the same speed as it, because physics, and then I slowly lower myself down like Iron Man.
Yes.
Okay. As you are doing this, you hear shouts, something that sounds somewhere between anger and panic, and then gunshots, and I need you to roll athletics.
Athletics, one of my best things. 5 again.
All right. This is a 2-shift hit.
But does that mean I have to use a fate point to succeed?
Oh, you're just dodging, so you're just going to get hit.
Oh, okay.
It's okay. A 2-shift hit is okay.
It's fine. I'm tough.
Okay. So you're taking some amount of physical stress as you look down into
Being shot
the
at
engine
is
of the
stressful.
train. You can see the engineer swearing as he works to slow the train and disengage the engine. And you can see several men in blue coats holding rifles to fire at you.
Ah. Can I grab onto the roof of the train and then kick in and kick them?
You can grab onto the roof of the train, and then we can enter combat scenario.
Well, that didn't go how we thought it was going to go.
I'm supposed to be trying to help the guy slow down, but what if I just distract him and make it worse? So maybe it's not a good idea.
I would take care of the people with the guns. But if you want, you can also get on comms and Zoo can help you.
Let me be more clear. The engineer and the guards who are in the train with the engineer have seen signs that are like, oh, the tracks are out ahead, stop. The engineer is angry, and then, unknown to all of science, a hovering woman has appeared above them, and the guards, rightfully already concerned, have decided to shoot at you.
Okay, I will try to kick them off of the train. Pushy, push.
Okay.
Kick.
So we are entering combat scenario. I will put you before the guards so you can make a pushy kick. And that will be physique to pushy kick.
Pushy, kick. Pushy, kick. I got 1, so 3.
All right. You grab the roof of the train and swing down like you are an awesome action hero to kick one of these guys out of the train. As you are coming down to kick them, they catch your legs, and you are now facing several guns to the face, and I need you to roll athletics.
5.
Okay. You are very good at twisting and contorting. However, there are 2 rifles pointed at you, and this will be 4 shifts.
Okay.
You're going to take it?
Yes. I don't think there's anything I can do to not take it. Plus, I almost never get injured, so I'll take a 3 stress box and a mild consequence.
All right. So you twist to avoid the worst of the damage. However, several bullets graze off of your metal bits, and you have the mild consequence dented. You can feel the dents in your metal carapace might restrict your movement as you are moving around.
Okay.
Would you like to say anything before we open it up to the rest of the group?
Yes. I will say, hello. I was just trying to help.
All right. Since you took your action to attack, you do not have an action to roll rapport here, but you have stated after you attacked them and flown with some sort of strange magic or technology that you are here to help.
To be fair, they attacked me first.
Yep.
True.
They clearly misinterpreted my motives.
All right. So, Keith, you are waiting with the armed miners. You hear gunshots. You saw Effie fly overhead. What would you like to do?
Okay, so I saw Effie fly overhead and I've heard gunshots. So I'm obviously going to run in that direction. And as I do, I'm going to shift into the female wolf from previous shifting experiences. She is the wolf with no name because I discovered her out in the wild, so she's not a zoo wolf.
Okay. Zoo becomes a non-zoo wolf. I feel like we normally make you roll lore for this regardless, don't we?
Yeah, we roll lore to see if I can do it.
Sounds good. Go for it.
So I am going to use a fate point and roll lore. and I get a +4 to my law roll.
Okay. You are able to obtain this form that you've used before.
Indeed.
It's a little bit of a stumble as you get used to running on 4 legs instead of 2, but you will be able to approach the train and start acting next turn.
Okay, then I run up as fast as I can towards the front of the train, and then my turn's over.
All right. You smell the burning coal. You smell the evaporating steam. You smell lots of unwashed bodies all throughout this train.
Gross.
Fun.
Probably some human excrement. I don't really know how they actually handled potty breaks on trains like this.
Out the window.
Either way, I could smell it. It's fine.
Or in a
There's-
bucket. Out the window.
What I'm trying to point out is your sense of smell got better, and that's not always a good thing.
Yes, agreed. Now I am running with a scrunched up nose.
Logan's
Sounds
just
good.
trying to fit in a consequence to every single choice that's made in the podcast.
I appreciate
So,
that. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
All right. Ralph and
Yes.
Shar, you are waiting under the balloon arch. You sent Effie off. She flew away. Gunshots, shouting.
How far away is the train / Effie?
We're going to use technical terms here. It is 1 zone away.
Okay. I think Shar will turn around to the miners and say, "Don't shoot Effie. Don't shoot Suman, who is now a wolf. Don't freak out about that either. Everything's fine. But if you wanted to maybe incapacitate the detectives, that'd be a good move. Do not harm any of the passengers of this train."
All right. Give me a rapport real quick.
Okay. That's going to be just a straight +4.
Okay.
I rolled a 0.
Sounds good. Despite your original plan going somewhat off the rails by sending a flying woman into the air,
Off
the
the
miners listen to train jokes. The miners listen to you. They grab their weapons and they approach the train, shouting for the men inside to stand down. Alf,
Can't do anything this turn. Because I don't want to turn into Sir Tiffany. It's just going to add to the chaos. How fast is the train going? Can I hop onto it?
you can hop onto it. It is slowing to a stop.
Sweet. I'm going to hop onto the train and be as proportionally boyish as I can be. It's not a term, but we're going to use it. I'm going to use my rapport to hopefully help. Yeah, we're going to see if I can put a boost on the scene. Okay, cool.
Let me get you a little bit more role play before you roll. Where are you jumping on to? Are you going on to the engine with the engineer, the guards, and Effie? Are you going to the tender with supposedly some workers? Or are you trying to head further back to one of the cars?
Well, the engine is the closest thing, so I was going to jump onto the engine.
So you're hopping onto the engine. And what is the entreaty that you're making here?
Gee, we're just here to help. We're here to welcome you all to the town so we can all work together.
Okay, go ahead and make your rapport roll now.
Come on, rapport. Okay, that looks like it's going to be it's fair. I rolled a -1. I have +3.
Okay. You will need a fate point to get above a neutral response.
Okay, I will use a fate point of I want to make a difference. I want to...
All right. You clamber up this train, being careful not to damage the flowers.
Oh yeah, I have flowers. I hold the flowers out as part of it.
You make your entreaty. The engineer is charmed and bemused. The guards are feeling all sorts of things right now. First, they saw probably a witch, which was not a thing they thought was real, but now they do, fly through the air. And then they got action hero kicked, which they were tough, so that was fine. And then there were a bunch of miners who started shouting at them to stand down and prepare to be boarded. And then this 10-year-old boy jumped up and handed them flowers.
You must be so freaking confused.
As a result of all of this, there's an aspect on the scene that you get with your best foot forward, and that is baffled. So this can be invoked by anyone in the party. Baffled.
Baffled. Okay, cool.
And that is going to bring us to Van Helsing. Van Helsing, let me describe what you've seen because it's different than what everyone else has seen.
Okay.
You have seen a train just kind of like sitting there and nobody doing anything for a long time. And then all of a sudden, Effie jumped into the air, appeared on the train, and all of the people are suddenly around the train, and that's where you're sitting. Also, Effie appears to be bleeding, just a little bit.
I'm pretty sure I can't touch the train.
Can't touch the train.
or Effie. I mean, I try to touch the train.
All right, how hard are you trying?
Like, hard enough that, because it seems like an urgent situation, Effie's bleeding.
Okay, roll will for me, please.
Oh, Jesus. that's 4 minuses, so that's a 0.
Okay, you go to climb up the train, and you just pass right through this train. You've never understood the internals of a train as well as you do now, having walked right through it and kind of fallen on your face attempting to climb up it.
So next time that you have a train that you're fighting against, it's a known enemy.
Right.
Way to put a positive spin on something that is clearly
beautiful.
not great.
There's a part of your brain that's like, oh, I always wondered exactly how this works. Now I know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Trains are cool.
Yeah. Trains are neat. You get this sudden itch in your palm to go make miniature trains. All right, that's going to take us all the way back up to the top.
Yeah.
Effie, all of these things have happened. All of these you are aware of, except for Van Helsing falling through the train.
I put my hands up like this. Everyone can see that. And sorry, I just laughed at my own joke.
It was great.
I do that all the time. What's wrong with that?
And I say, you see, what happened was that I was standing on a plank of wood, and then a really heavy person stepped on the other side, and I was launched into the air. It's a matter of leverage and physics and good timing, because here I have landed on this train with you, who I have come to greet. Look at the balloons.
Look at the balloons.
Roll to deceive, I guess.
Oh, good, I do have deceive. I rolled a 2, and I have a 1, so that makes 3.
All right, would you like to use the baffled aspect on the scene?
I would.
I thought you might. The gun's lower, first of all, so good job on that.
Woo!
Yes.
FE1!
The Baldwin Feltz men look terribly confused, maybe even a little bit abashed, and as they look out at the miners who are swarming around the train, it turns to nervous. And this can move us out of combat situation.
Good job, everyone.
Yay!
Ralph, really coming through there with an aspect. Way to go. Effie, incredible job. You were very convincing. Zoo, you were so close to being helpful. Does someone want to try to get the guards off the train and, subdued, or before we get the passengers off the train?
If you'll follow me, gentlemen, to the balloon arch, I will get you some refreshing beverages and disarm you so that you don't have to carry some heavy guns.
But what now?
Beverages.
I'm doing you a favor.
You know, because you might be thirsty.
Yeah, okay. You are being much more friendly than the miners who have at this point surrounded the locomotive. And the guards are willing to be talked off the train and down to the balloon arch and the refreshments pavilion. We have tea and beer.
Tea and beer.
Yeah, take the flowers back, Ralph. Take the flowers back.
I can gather more. Who has my flowers?
The guard who spoke is holding the flowers like he doesn't know what to do with them, but he doesn't feel like he can put them down.
That's what I was going for.
From the rest of the train, heads are popping out of windows.
Logan, can you remind me the name of the influential Asian person who was helping our dear senator friend, whose name I cannot remember either? Wow, I'm so bad at names.
Young Wing.
Young Wing. As heads start popping out of the train windows and everything, Shar waves her hand and says in her biggest, loudest voice,
Hello, I am a representative of Young Wing. I am here to welcome you to Mucklow. Please exit the train so we can have a good conversation. I'm going to use my stunt Big Name to get a +2 bonus to rapport.
All right,
Excellent.
sounds good.
Well, it's good I have that +2 bonus because I rolled a -1. So then I get a +5 total.
Okay. The heads in the train disappear, and you can see several doors open on cars from the train because there is no station with the attendant platform. And so you are getting a lot of confused people looking around, seeing tents and no town. But there are a few people getting down. The engineer loudly says, "This isn't Mucklow. You don't speak English. You're bored at..." And he just goes back to working with his train. The guards that you can see are uncomfortable, but you spoke in Chinese, so they don't say anything. And going over to Zoo.
So I now am a wolf. Is someone going to shoot at me? Because I'd really rather not that happen again.
I'm going to stand by Zoolf, and I'm going to have my hand on Zoolf's back.
I do want to know, Zoo, are you going to walk along the train? Are you going to stay in the group with everyone else? What is your plan here?
Do a cute trick.
Yeah, pretend
You're
to
a
be
doggy.
trained.
You're an American doggy.
Come here, puppy, puppy, puppy,
So I'm
puppy.
just going to like hang out next to Ralph as if we're buddies and just like sit and like pant and wag my tail
As
and
if you're buddies.
do all the things.
He's technically bigger than I am.
Faking companionship.
And then, sort of like butt my head up against Ralph and whisper, "I'm going to go patrol. Tell me to fetch or something."
Or we can patrol together. Can I crawl on your back and we can just patrol together? I've never ridden a dog before.
Before I even say anything in response, you're pretty much already doing it. So I just
Yes,
sort of
I
like dog shrug, and then when you're on my back, sort of slowly lope off in a direction.
All right, give me a combined notice for you two.
Here, I'll roll it. Okay, that is a 7.
Yeah!
That's like the
Okay.
best roll I've had in like 7
We
rolls.
noticed the shit out of
Amazing.
some stuff.
You definitely do. You notice more guards on the caboose that nobody else has reached yet,
Oh.
and several men who look more like overseers than workers who are on the train cars and trying to keep people from getting off.
Okay. I use my comms and I say, "Sha, there's more guards back here and there's some people trying to stop what you're doing. Can you send some miners down to be threatening and help out?"
Yeah, affirmative. I guess, do I have to roll rapport again, or does my earlier rapport roll?
No, we're not going to make you roll again for that.
Okay, so as miners, I'm assuming, go towards the end of the train, Shar wants to come with them to go and talk to the overseers.
Okay, sounds good. There are, as the miners work down towards the guard, there are several gunshots that go off in that direction. But you do not have to worry about the miners being overcome. There's a lot more of them than there are the guards. If anyone wants to get involved in that conflict, now is the time. Otherwise, we'll go to the overseers.
I trust the miners.
I'm there, but it's over too fast to care.
Okay, Shar, you make your way down the various cars until you run into the first car where there is obviously a man who is trying to convince everyone, no, this is not Mucklow. This is a trick. Please stay on. We will get moving shortly. I'm sure everything is fine.
Shar interrupts him and she goes, No, it's not a trick. It's not a trick. We want to talk to everyone about the situation in Mucklow. There's a lot of things that are going on right now that I think you guys should just be aware of.
Okay, roll rapport.
That's going to be a +6.
Okay. The overseer is trying to negate the things you are saying, but more people are getting off than are staying on. And in the end, he gives up, and with protests, he moves towards the tent with the rest. And you're able to repeat this with all of the overseers that you meet as you go down the train. As you get to the end and work your way back, you see the miners carrying back the guards tied up, and there's at least one miner who is injured and one guard who is just left on the side of the tracks. You now have roughly 500 Chinese miners trying to pack into this tent Effie, there is not enough refreshments for everyone as things stand right now.
Oh.
Shar finds Frank and she says, Frank, if you want to talk to the people, I'd be super happy to translate, and then you can let them know whatever you think they should be aware of so that they can help join our cause and not go and work for Feldman.
It's fine. So here is the speech that Frank gets up at the front of the group to shout, and you will be able to repeat. My fellow workers, I am so pleased that you have decided to join us here today. I know you have come here being promised wealth and work, but I have to tell you that the men who have promised you these things are liars. In fact, we here in this camp, in the tents that you can see roundabout, we have gone on strike and refused to work for what they are paying. Now they think that they can separate the working class by bringing in you fine foreigners to fill our seats. But I know that the bonds of the workers' brotherhood transcends all boundaries, and I know that you can be convinced to come and strike with us. Though the times will be hard and the food will be lean, I promise that in good time, the good time of the Lord, we will in fact have better pay and better conditions, and we can even get your families here. Go ahead and give any color notes that Shar changes.
Shar keeps all of that the same. The only thing that she adds is an extra line with something along the lines of like, we respect you, we respect your culture, we want to welcome you with open arms, America to Mucklow, so that you can, like, so that we can be on equal footing.
One of the men, in fact, the first manager that you talked to, the Chinese manager, says, but this is not, in fact, Mucklow. And I can tell that this is not Mucklow. And if you are lying about this being Mucklow, what else are you lying about?
Shar responds and just goes, Mucklow is further down the tracks. We are just outside of Mucklow. You could say that this is the region of Mucklow.
Well, then if you are willing to let us go to Mucklow, where we can have houses and we can have employment and money and therefore security for our passports, then maybe we will be interested in hearing your words when we are not coerced into hearing them.
Shar translates this back for Frank.
Frank looks at the ground and then he says, it is true that we are using the tools of coercion, but the workers must have the same power as those who coerce your freedom. If you go to Mucklow, you will find it much harder to leave than you did to arrive.
Shar says this and adds that the employers who await them in Mucklow are not afraid to use force to attack, whereas these miners, they don't want to use force. They only use force if force is forced upon them.
The overseer points out that totally unprovoked, the miners had already killed one of the guards on the train.
And then Shar says, it is not unprovoked when they pull their guns on us.
Yeah, they shot me first.
What do you want the result to be here?
Well, I want everyone to be convinced that I'm telling the truth, and I want them to agree to cooperate with the miners.
And stay in the Holly Grove encampment?
What do you guys all think? Do you think that it would be better for them to stay in the encampment, or do you think that it would be better for them to go into town? I feel like if they go into town, then, like, we've lost.
Yeah, they're going to get conscripted.
Yeah, pretty much.
Unless they, well, I mean, how would we guarantee it then? I was going to say, unless they are our inside men, but they have no...
There's too many of them. There's like 500 of these already. I'm a bit worried that we're not going to be able to like even fit them all in the camp.
I know.
Plus, what are we offering them? Like, I don't know how we're going to, like, my problem
There's
is...
nothing to offer them.
Right, exactly. It's like, turn around and go home and you'll be safe. Fight for us, and when we're done, you probably won't have a job anyway. Or go work there and be doing the wrong thing. So like, I'm a little bit concerned that we don't have anything to like give them as a good alternative.
Basically, all we can offer them is that banded together, we can make working conditions better for all. But if we're divided, and we then can't really make a promise that working conditions will be good for them.
One, I think that like probably we can estimate that there will be the need to make up for the work that has been lacking. So I think that there is an immediate need for maybe a surplus of employees.
Yeah.
Then I think that it could be our responsibility to enrich the economical environment and add to the amount of jobs in the area that are needed. Whether that is through expanding the town or expanding the mining operations. I think that like we can set up the group for success and not have to turn away all of the workers.
Okay, so our options are either to turn them away and send them back to where they came from, or to absorb them into our strike force with the promise that because they're here, we'll win the strike and we'll be able to grow the town big enough to be prosperous for us.
Yeah. I also think that this first train is really important because if we can convince this first train, then I feel like it gives us a boost to convince the other ones.
And getting back into things now. The overseer asks, if we stay with you, can you provide homes? Can you provide food? Can you provide anything for our men?
When we take over the city, we can.
Shar turns to this man and she looks him straight in the eyes and she goes, "Sir, I promise on my name that we can provide food, we can provide immediate shelter, temporary shelters, and if you join us, if we are able to unite as a group, we will be able to take back the city, take back the living conditions, raise the standard of living throughout the city of Mucklow, including for all of you wonderful people. We will add to the economic environment so there are a surplus of jobs that are needed to be filled, and we will be able to guarantee that you will live a comfortable life."
All right, give me one last rapport roll here.
Okay. I rolled a -3.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, would you like to succeed with a consequence?
I would.
Okay, he looks at you, and loud enough for the other people to hear. He says, "This promise is great, but the weight of it is also great." He looks around at a number of the armed miners who are just kind of hanging out on the outside of the tent. He says, "I see little option but to comply at this time, but I hope that you can live up to these promises that you've made." And Frank, at a nod from you, we're going to abbreviate again, works on getting these men settled.
Hey, question, what are we doing with all the guards and stuff? Like, are we just going to like disarm them and send them to the town? Are we going to chuck them on the train and hit it in reverse? Like,
I know we were going to disarm them.
we have to disarm them, right? Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Convince them to get on the train and go back.
Getting on the train and going back would be an easy point to get to at this point.
Yeah.
And that way we take their guns and we take their uniforms, but we get rid of them so that they're not more bodies for the army.
Yeah.
So I would like to, in addition to taking their guns and their uniforms, and, I'm assuming any pocket change that they have on
Boots.
them. Like anything that they would have on their persons, yes. In addition to that, I would like to take like everything off of the train. Any resource that we can take off of the train, I would like to take off.
Yeah, this all happens. This can be coordinated through Frank without any problem. He starts working to get these people settled. But Shar, you realize he's stiff and his jaw is clenched.
Uh-oh.
And I want to leave it there for now. And to accelerate things, you get this same thing to happen on the second train.
Cool.
So you now have roughly 1,000 immigrant miners. You have sent back 2 trains, and high noon is coming. How are you preparing for this train?
Okay.
I will say the barricade is probably, like, it's been good for these 2 trains, but I'm a little bit concerned that the more beefed up train could potentially be more difficult to stop. So I think we need to like either beef up the barricade now that we have more hands to help make light work.
Yeah.
And with this one, obviously being more aggressive than the previous ones, guns first.
Mm-hmm. And I think that we, in addition to beefing up the barricade and having like people with arms that are armed, not people with arms. Most people have arms.
They should also have arms.
Not everyone, and that's okay. If you don't have an arm, that's totally fine. Live your life, and that's really good. I'm proud of you for living.
Unless you're going to be using a gun, in which case, please have arms. Like,
yeah. So, like, we've got people that are armed that are by the barricade. In addition to that, I think that we should send some miners to interfere with anyone that's trying to come from Mucklow to this train, because I feel like they've got to know by now that something's up.
Solid.
I don't know if there's anything we would have to do to ensure that that works. I don't know if one of us going there would have to be it, or if we would have to do like a roll or something like that.
I think I'll go, but I can't really do anything to a train.
Okay.
But as a wolf, I can get down to the other side pretty quick.
Yeah.
I'm going to head over as Wolf Zoomin. I'm going to, ask Ralph to get off my back. And I'm going to head over to the other side and take a percentage of our miner force over there with some more of the guns that we just got, and sort of on the other side of the encampment.
Are you just looking to get to the edge of the encampment?
No, I would go further than that.
A little beyond, sort of like halfway between the edge of the encampment and the barricades.
Okay.
Like out of gunshot range of like the machine guns and things that they have there, but also out of bullet range of the encampment, so that people in the camp aren't going to get shot by accident if things go down.
Okay. It is a several-hour walk, we've determined, between Holly Grove and Mucklow. So
Okay.
you're not having to worry about like no man's land so much.
So right after we liberate the second train, I head over there with a force of about, I don't know.
I'm fine with splitting the force in half the
like
miners.
half about, because you guys have Effie and Ralph.
And Ralph.
Yeah, so I take about half the miners and we head over there, and I sort of scout ahead. Before we leave, I'm assuming that someone, assigns somebody to be in charge of these miners, and I'm going to sort of stay like looking like a domesticated dog, and scouting around, making sure that we're not, set upon by an ambush we don't see coming.
Okay. Sounds good. Everybody else, any particular stuff you want?
Man, I sure wish Van Helsing was here to give his like rallying speeches.
Nope.
No,
I'm
for
not
once,
here.
it's not his fault.
Try to communicate with us at all? Like you could write on a piece of paper and put
Yeah,
it
that
down and
works.
communicate with us.
No, yeah, I don't know. I don't think I trust writing anything. It could appear at the wrong time and go to the wrong place.
Oh, that's true.
It's also why I'm probably not going to be firing too many bullets this episode.
Jeez. We really have to deal with you, though. Like, someone has to find McWhinney and, like, learn what the hell's going on with Ben Helsing. He's, like, the only
that's
resource
a really
local.
good idea, Keith.
Thank you.
Shar tries to find an area where there are less people for a moment and kind of just goes, Mr. Mawini, can you hear me? Are you, like, a god?
Fairy godmother.
Are you here?
Oh,
Can you
fairy
come help for a
godmother.
second?
How long are you willing to wait?
I would say up to 10 minutes.
Okay. You wait 10 minutes, and as you turn away, you hear a voice say, "Oh, I'm not really a god, Miss Shar. I'm very perceptive."
Oh, that's incredible. We love perception, even though it's notice here.
I don't know what you are referencing.
That's fine. Hey, Mr. Mawini, I'm so glad to see you. One of my personal heroes, Dr. Abraham Van Helsing, has disappeared. We kind of think that he's here somewhere, like maybe on another plane of existence. We like randomly can hear him sometimes a little bit on comms, but I'm pretty worried about him. Can you help at all?
What do you mean? He's right here next to you.
Terrifying.
And by the way, Van Helsing, you were
Mhm.
able to see and hear McWhinney as if he was in the same room as you.
Nice.
Mr. Mawini, I can't see him, and neither can anyone else on Earth besides maybe you.
I don't see how that could really be the case. He just seems to be right here, aren't you, Mr. Van Helsing?
Hear these nuts.
Oh my gosh. No, try again.
He is saying some very bizarre things. You can see the head of steam approaching. Unlike the other trains, it doesn't slow down. In fact, the engine accelerates in its vigor. The splintering sound of the rocks and logs being torn out of the way is deafening. The train is covered in extra riveted iron armor, and the cattle guard is made into some sort of makeshift prow that's incredibly devastating. As it goes by, slightly slowed down by the barricade, anyone who's perceptive enough will be able to see small openings in the riveted armor, and that's where the machine gun turrets are. And that's when the bullets start flying. Thanks so much for listening to another episode and being here all the way to the end. Now, if you've got time, Sunday night, Uncle Ben is going to give us some words of wisdom and then probably be murdered by a street thug, and it's Spider-Man's fault.